Hello, welcome back to Revised You, the learning platform, where you can access a lot of learning materials through online as well as offline. So guys, we were discussing about the different phyla coming under animal kingdom, and recently we have finished the phylum Ctenophora, right? And you will be remembering the 8 rows of complex present in Ctenophora, right? Let me show you. See, this 8 rows of complex. I think you remember, right? Now, what were the peculiar features of this phylum? Yes, it is this complex as well as the property of bioluminescence. Okay, now today we are going to discuss the phylum Platyhelminthes. We have come across the organisms in this phyla during when we are discussing about the criteria for classification, and in each criteria, and some of the criteria where we have discussed the examples as this phylum Platyhelminthes, right? So tell me, what are they commonly called? The organisms included in phylum Platyhelminthes are commonly known as flatworms. Okay, what are they called? Flatworms. Do you know why they are called flatworms? They are having a dorsoventrally flattened body. Dorsoventrally flattened. See, what is the structure here? What is the structure of these animals here? See, all of them are dorsoventrally flattened. Hence, they are called flatworms. Now, what about their organization? In which level they are occupying? In which level they are occupying in organization, body organization? Yes, they are having organ level of organization. Organ level of organization. Now, what about their symmetry? They are having a bilaterally symmetrical body. Bilateral symmetry. So, they are having a bilaterally symmetrical body. Right. And what about their germ layers and their organization of germ layers? Yeah, they are having all the germ layers, hence they are having triploblastic. They are included in triploblastic organisms. Now, what about the body cavity? We have studied that Platyhelminthes are the examples for acoelomate animals. What is meant by acoelomate? Yeah, they are not having any true coelom. Okay, so that is about their body cavity. Now, the main point here is they are parasites. They are endoparasites in many of the animals, including in humans also. So, these Platyhelminthes, most of the organisms are endoparasites in other animals like inside humans. And because of this parasitic nature, in the parasitic forms of these animals, they have hooks and suckers in them. Hooks and suckers. So, they have, in parasitic forms, they have hooks and suckers present in them. Clear? Now, some of the parasitic organisms directly absorb the nutrients from the host body. They do not need any special structure because they can directly absorb the nutrients through their body surface from the host body. So, parasitic forms are having an adaptation like that. Now, we'll look into the sexes. In these animals, sexes are not separate. Okay, sexes are not separate fertilization is internal. Fertilization is internal, which means fertilization, the fusion of male and female gametes takes place inside the body of the animal. So fertilization is internal and the development is indirect, which means they are having larval stages. They are having a number of larval stages in them. Okay, number of larval stages. Now, there is a special cells called flame cells. Flame cells present in them, and they are helping them for osmoregulation and excretion. So, what are the excretory structures? What are the excretory cells present in Platyhelminthes? Yes, they are the flame cells, and they also help in osmoregulation because they are the parasites. Some of the forms are being parasites. It has to adjust with the environment in which they live, right? So for this osmoregulation, these flame cells help these animals. Cool. Now the organisms like Planaria, which is a species included in this category, they have high regeneration capacity, right? They have high regeneration capacity. What does that mean? Even if they are losing their body part, they have the capacity to regenerate the lost part. Okay, so Planaria is showing high regeneration capacity. Now we'll look for the examples. Have you heard about the tapeworm? Taenia. The Taenia is an example for this Platyhelminthes, which is commonly called as tapeworm. I will show you. They are looking like a tape. See, these are the tapeworms. Okay, it resembles a tape. That's why they are called tapeworms, and the scientific name is Taenia. Now, can you see this organism? This is known as liver fluke. This is present inside the liver. Okay, and this is the liver fluke. This is an original picture, and this is also an original picture. And it is a parasite. This tapeworm as well as this liver fluke is a parasite in animals. Now, so the second example is Fasciola. Fasciola, which is commonly called as liver fluke. Clear? Now these are the examples and these are the characters of this phylum. We'll look one by one once again. They are commonly known as flatworms because they are having a dorsoventrally flattened body and they are having organ level of organization. They are bilaterally symmetric. They are diproblastic animals. They are acoelomate animals. And many of the forms are entoparasites in animals, including humans. These parasitic forms are having hooks and circles in them. Now, the sexes are not separate in this animal. Fertilization is internal and development is indirect with a number of larval stages. Now, there is special cells called flame cells which helps in osmoregulation and excretion of these animals. Now, some organisms like Planaria, they are having high regeneration capacity. This is the capacity to regenerate the lost parts of the animal. Now, the examples include Taenia, which is commonly called as tapeworm, and the Fasciola, which is commonly known as liver fluke. So, that's about the phylum Platyhelminthes. Now, in the next session, we will discuss another phylum. Thank you. Stay safe and be revised.